So hi there guys, welcome to this week's review video. This week we're going to be taking a look at the Microraft Packraft by MRS. Right, so firstly I just want to say a big thank you to Packraft, who are the UK distributor for the MRS Packraft, for sending this out for testing, so I shall stick a link to them in the description below. Right then, so here we are. So this is the MRS Microraft all rolled up. This is the medium version. This weighs 3.4 kilos. It packs up to about 20 centimeters by 40, and it is an absolute perfect packraft for expeditions and just calm water and whitewater paddling as well. Right, let's get this thing blown up and let's look at some of the specifications. So first thing to note with the MRS Microraft is the ancillary equipment that comes with it. So you've got a skeg, which I really recommend you put in before you inflate the boat, and then you've also got a massive inflation bag. This inflation bag is absolutely brilliant because you can basically, if you get a good fill with this, you've got basically 3 bags and the packraft's full. So it's fairly straightforward to insert the skeg into this, so I find it easier if you actually wet the skeg and then it slides in at the front. And then you have to just lift it up. It's best if it's on a flat surface and pull back. And then you've also got this little retaining string here that you can just push through the little hole at the back there, and then just do a single knot just to retain it. Inflation valve is on the back of the packraft here. It's a standard Boston valve here. You inflate into the two-way part of the valve here, and then you just need to close it just to temper the boat. And then once you've got your boat pretty much filled up, the best thing to do is just to turn your inflation bag a couple of times, just to stop all of the air leaking out of that, so you can get yourself ready to stick your cap back on. So the way I always do this is try and use my fingers as much as I can to block that hole, take off the bag, and then just put the one-way valve into the boat. And then you can just use your lungs just to top your boat up. So that's the Microraft all pumped up here. So just remember, on a day like today, just remember to temper your boat when you put it into cold water. So just leave it sitting in the water for a couple of minutes and then just re-inflate using your lungs there, because you're going to lose pressure as the air cools inside the packraft. Right, before we get this into the water, you've got 3 other things that you need to pump up. One is your backrest, so that is literally just by inflating and then closing the valve. You've then got this piece on the cruiser deck here. Now, just to explain why you've got an inflatable thing on the cruiser deck here, this basically will stop water ingress into the packraft. So when this is inflated, this will raise up higher. And then the final thing we've got to inflate is the seat. So let's take a look at some of the specifications of the MRS Microraft. So it's an absolute game changer of a packraft. It's really well made, and it's really perfect for multi-use, whether you're using it on calm water, whitewater, or you're using it on expeditions like we are in Sweden this week. So the inner length of the packraft is 135 centimeters, and then you've got a width of 33 centimeters. It's not the lightest packraft, weighing at 3.4 kilos, but with all of the things that you can do with this packraft, I think it's an absolute game changer. changer. So the MRS Microraft has a load capacity of 178 kilos, so obviously that's with the paddler and all of the equipment as well. So looking at the construction of the Microraft, the tubes are made of 210D TPU and the floor is made of 420D TPU. The cruiser deck is made of a 70D nylon and all of the seams are all heat welded and sewn. There's no glue used in the construction of this Packraft, which helps keep the weight down. So let's have a little talk about the cruiser deck. So the cruiser deck is completely removable, and this can be unzipped and stored up at the front or completely removed if you want to take it off completely. The cruiser deck is not 100% watertight. It's zipped from this point here all the way around the raft, and then you've got Velcro around this side here. So this is the side for your ingress and your egress. You've got this little piece of webbing just here, and when that's pulled, that will open up the cruiser deck so you can get in and out of the Packraft. The one thing to mention, I've seen a lot of people mentioning on Facebook groups that this skirt needs to go underneath your buoyancy aid. That is wrong. This skirt needs to go above your buoyancy. This is on the outside. So one thing to mention about the MRS Microraft is the storage system inside it. So you've got the ISS, the internal storage system, which is basically a dry zip on the back there. So what this allows you to do is stuff your Packraft full of your kit as well. 2 dry bags, 70-litre dry bags come with a Packraft, and inside of the Packraft you've got a couple of welded loops inside there, so you can clip your dry bags onto these loops, and this basically stops your gear from slopping around inside of the Packraft when you're on a portage and things. So are there any down points to the Microraft? The only real down point that I can see is the fact that the seat is not very easily removable. The seat is attached to both sides of the Packraft using like a daisy chain of paracord. Personally, I'd like to be able to get the seat out so you can use it when you're camping, or you can just clean inside of your raft. So how much does the Microraft cost? So in the UK, by Packwalife, the UK's distributor, the Packraft costs just over £1,000, which I think is a really good price for this really tough, durable, well-made Packraft.